I'm gonna be completely transparent with you guys. The reason why some of y'all are still dipping your way back into your pornography addiction, the reason why a lot of y'all you go back to watching the P-Hub, and honestly, like, you probably don't even know this, but you already overcame the addiction. You just don't know it yet. You overcame that addiction. You know, you did 90 days of no watching the P-Hub, no Nofap, and you completed the 90 days. You abstained for that time period, for that amount of time. But now you find yourself after a while going back to the habit, right? The only thing that is really leading you back into that habit, the reason why you keep going back in the first place, is because you have too much time on your hands. You have to keep yourself productive. You have to keep your time, keep your day busy, keep your day productive. You have too much time on your hands to be wasting on watching pornography. You have to be at a point, guys, where you just have too much going on and your days is completely filled to a point where you don't think about pornography. You don't think about fapping. Those things don't even cross your mind because you're too busy. You got too much going on. Your time is already filled up with things that matter more than just instant gratification. That's what it really comes down to, is you just have too much time on your hands. You're not really addicted. The reason why I'm speaking on this is because I have went through the same thing. I did 90 days no porn. You know, me personally, fapping isn't really much of an issue. I don't have an issue with letting go of masturbation. Masturbation has never been much of a vice for me. You know, I've always had problems with pornography and consuming it, right? But barely any issues with masturbation. Now, don't get it twisted, I had other ways of ejaculation, but when it comes to beating the drum, I was just never too keen on doing that. And that was something that I would do it every now and then, and I would not even do it again for a long time. It's not something I would do every single day of my life. And I had to realize after completing 90 days, and then I would dip back into the habit, really not even knowing that I'm kind of over this addiction. It's just I'm bored and I ain't got much to really do. But the whole issue is I got too much time, way too much time, and my day needs to be filled with meaningful things that are going to push my life forward, not backwards. And that's kind of where I've been at when it comes to the pornography, is this doesn't really give me a natural high. It never gave me a natural high. It was always a artificial high. But it doesn't really give me much of a high anymore. And really it just comes down to not being productive enough, comes down to not having a lot going on in your life. If you really think about it, pornography really isn't your issue. It's your inability to stay active. That's the problem. It's you not being productive enough. So you're leaving room for opportunities to just stay idle. And when you stay idle, that leaves the door open for the devil to infiltrate your mind, right? See, the devil knows your weakness. The devil knows a lot about your addiction, a lot about your porn addiction. And if you are too idle, then that's only going to be bad news for you. You're only going to seep right back into the addiction. And not even knowing that you're not actually addicted anymore because you've proven that you can abstain from this addiction for 90 days plus. You already done it. You already completed the rewiring process. You know, your brain already got to a point where it filtered out the habit. Your brain was already forming new connections already, creating new neurons. But it's just the fact that you're not productive enough, you're inactive throughout the day, and this tends to happen. So your mind will start to wander, it will start to just entertain meaningless things, such as pornography, right? And for us guys, we get too damn horny when we get no sex. When we don't have no access to having sex, we become very horny. And we start, we start getting these chemicals turned on in our brain that just leads us into, beating the drum, right? Because we're too damn idle. And we're thinking about, now our mind is like thinking of ways to entertain ourselves because we're so bored, because we have nothing to do. But really, we have a lot to do. And we can't get to a place where we ain't got nothing to do. We can't get to that place where we're just idle. We're just bored. No, we got to find something to do. We got to find something to erase the idea of watching the P-Hub. You have to erase that idea of it from your mind.